Hello, today we are discussing a net question paper which was conducted on 1st March 2023. Before going into the video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Let's start with the first question. The Princess MLD by Tennyson is actually this is a narrative poem written in blank verse. It's a long narrative poem. It's about a princess. Her name is Ida. She is a new woman. This through this poem, the princess Tennyson is supporting the education of women and establishment of female colleges. Next question is, which of the following works is not written by P.B. Shelley? P.B. Shelley is a writer from Romantic period, and among all these works, the Mask of Anarchy, Queen Mab, The Revolt of Islam, all these are written by P.B. Shelley. Only thing, the Vision of Judgment is written by Byron in the year 1822. Byron is another romantic poet. Important works of Byron are Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, written in the year 1812, The Prisoner of Chillon, then Manfred, written in 1817, Cain in 1821, The Two Foscari in 1821, then Heaven and Earth 1823, Beppo in 1817, Mazeppa in 1819, and the most important work of Byron is Don Juan. Started writing in the work 1819 and it was finished in the year 1824, and all the other works are written by P.B. Shelley, in whose poem the readers meet on Jennifer's tigers. In the poem of Andrine, the readers met on Jennifer's tigers. Andrine is a famous lesbian feminist and queer theoretician. Andrine coined the term lesbian continuum, and also she the main concept of Andrine is forced heterosexuality. Heterosexuality is the relation between man and woman. So Andrine as a queer theoretician and a lesbian, she says that society is forcing the relation between man and woman, because only through this society can live with, or that male domination can be protected only through this forced heterosexuality, that is a relation between man and woman. And Rich says that by birth we humans are not heterosexual, because when one is by birth, a child or a baby is more connected to his mother, that whether it's a boy or a girl, they are more connected to their mother. So we cannot say that by birth we all are heterosexual. Next question is, name the playwright who has written Lawrence Sahib. Actually, this Lawrence Sahib is a play written by Gurcharan Das. Gurcharan Das is an English playwright who published this work in 1970. The complete name of this work is Lawrence Sahib, a drama of hubris. Who among the following has composed the lyrical drama Hellas? Actually, this is composed by P.B. Shelley. P.B. Shelley is another romantic poet who is very close to Wordsworth and Byron. Important works of P.B. Shelley or Queen Mab, published in the year 1813. Alastair or The Spirit of Solitude, published in 1816. The Revolt of Islam, published in 1818. The Mask of Anarchy in 1819. England in 1819 is also written by P.B. Shelley. Then most importantly, A Defense of Poetry, written in 1840. Then he also produced two verse plays like The Cenci, published in 1819, Prometheus Unbound in 1820. Another important work is Adonis, published in 1821. It's a model of classical elegy written in Spencerian stanza. Another important work, The Triumph of Life, is a last major work published in the year 1822. It's an unfinished visionary poem written in terza rime. Actually, P.B. Shelley's wife is Mary Shelley, who is the daughter of William Godwin and Mary Wollstonecraft. Name the playwright who composed the play A Woman Killed with Kindness. It was written by Thomas Haywood. All the writers in this group are very important because the important works of Thomas Haywood are A Woman Killed with Kindness in the year 1603, The English Traveller, published in 1604, The Four Prentices of London, published in 1594. Then Francis Beaumont. He produced the great work Philaster or Love Lies a Bleeding, published in 1610. Thomas Kidd is very important writer. He wrote the work The Spanish Tragedy. Another question is, name the celebrated actor who played the leading role in the first production of John Osborne's The Entertainer, published in 1957. The correct answer is Laurence Olivier. Actually, this The Entertainer, written by it's a drama by John Osborne, belongs to the kitchen sink drama. They are about These plays are about the working condition, life and working condition of working factory working classes, and most of the happenings in their life it all happens in the kitchen. Kitchen is the main theme, and in all these plays, men are suffering more, and because of the suffering of men, women are also affected by the problems. Shellac Delany, he wrote the work A Taste of Honey in 1958. The John Osborne, he wrote Look Back in Anger 1956. The next work of John Osborne is The Entertainer, published in 1950. Which of the following statements holds true in regard to sentimental comedy? Actually, sentimental comedy is somewhat very different from comedy of manners. The options are, it is a dramatic composition which satirizes the manners and affections of a class. The dramas which satirize the manners and affections of a class belongs to comedy of manners. It is a dramatic composition that focuses on characters, each of them representing a type personality. It's not sentimental comedy. It is a dramatic composition that depicts how seriously young people take love and how foolishly it makes them behave. It comes under the dramatic genre which focuses more on violence, sex, and intrigue. So all the others belong to comedy of manners, and only the last one belongs to sentimental comedy, because in sentimental comedy they are focusing more on sentiments, the painful life of people, the emotions of people. This is what sentimental comedy. So sentimental, it is a species of dramatic composition in which the the virtues of private life are exhibited rather than the vices exposed. The vices means the faults. In sentimental comedy, they are not showing the vice, the fault or dark sides of human nature, but they are only exposing or showing the virtues of private life. The good side of private life is only exhibited in sentimental comedy, and the distress rather than the faults of mankind make our interest in the piece. The pain or the distress are shown in the sentimental comedy. Only the um, sentimental side is shown. So the last option is the correct answer. Recognize that its heroine is a little prig and its hero a pompous ass. But I don't care. About which novel of Jane Austen is this statement made by Somerset Maugham? This statement is made about Mansfield Park, written by Jane Austen. This Mansfield, in this one, the main character is Mansfield Park is published in the year 1814, and the main character is Fanny Prince and Edmund. And unlike other novels of this Jane Austen, Mansfield Park has a serious theme. It's very complicated in nature. In this Mansfield Park, there is themes on post-colonialism. Like this work only, Edward said considered this work to evaluate the problems in colonialism, and this was mentioned in the work Culture and Anarchy. Other works of Jane Austen are, and the important work of Jane Austen is Northanger Abbey, published in 1818. Important characters are Isabella Thorpe, she is the villain, and the heroine is Catherine Morland. This Northanger Abbey has Gothic elements, and because the heroine, that is Catherine, is more interested in reading Gothic novels. And most important thing is that the story happens in the city of Bath. So in Mansfield Park, there are elements of colonial subjection. So we have to be very careful and while remembering the name of this novel. In which year was R.L. Stevenson's Treasure Island published? It was published in 1883. Which of the following novels is not written by Amitav Ghosh? Amitav Ghosh is a great, very famous Indian writer. And he is a winner of Jnanpith Award in 2018. He wrote a trilogy. Trilogy means a series of 3 books. They are Sea of Poppies, River of Smoke, Flood of Fire. Among these writings, works, Sea of Poppies is there, Flood of Fire is there, Gun Island is there. Gun Island is also written by Amitav Ghosh. So, see, all these three works constitute his Ibis trilogy. Sea of Poppies published in 2008, River of Smoke published in 2011, Flood of Fire published in 2015. This another work, English August, is done by Upanyu Chaterjee in the year 1988. Complete full title of the novel is English August, an Indian Story. It was published in 1988. Which among the following is not an American slave narrative? Among all these, the interesting narrative of the life of Olaudah Equiano, life and adventure of Henry Bibb, narrative of Solomon Northup, all these are slave narratives. But Songs of Enchantment is written by the great Nigerian writer Ben Okri in the year 1993. This is a second book in a trilogy. The first book in this trilogy is the famous work of Ben Okri, that is The Famished Rod, published in 1991. And the third book in this trilogy is Infinite Riches, published in 1988. So the Sounds of Enchantment is a work on a boy who struggles in his life, and this is written by Ben Okri. This is published in 1993. Next question is, who among the following theorists has written on affective economies? Affective economies is a concept of Sara Ahmed, who is a feminist and queer theorist, and she focuses on relation between emotions, and the most she describes this this relation between emotions in the work. And the most important work of Sara Ahmed is Cultural Politics of Emotion, published in 2004. Another option is Nigel Thrift. He is an academician and a geographer. Correct answer is Sara Ahmed. Next question is, who among the following is not a Yale critic? Yale critic is a group of writers from America. All these are deconstructionist theorists. The Yale critics are Paul D. Mann, Jeffrey Hartman, J. Hillis Miller, and another one important writer is also there, who is Harold Bloom. Among these, Paul D. Mann is a disciple of Derrida. Among all these writers, the only one exception is there, that is Roland Barthes. He is not belong to that Yale critics of America. Next question is, demythologizing is a term associated with the work of, actually it's not mythology but demythologizing. This is related to Rudolf Bultmann. Rudolf Bultmann is a German theologian. So he developed the concept of demythologizing because this is a term related to religion. Another one, Claude Lévi-Strauss, is not. He talked about mythology, not demythologizing. Ferdinand de Saussure is a linguist who developed the concept of sign, signified, and signifier. Among this, one thing is called sign, and the mental concept when we hear the name of a word is called signified, and the written text is called signifier. Who among the following is known as a post-Marxist thinker? Among all these writers, Antonio Gramsci, Theodore Adorno, and Walter Benjamin are Marxist theorists. Only Ernst Laclau is post-Marxist theorist. The Marxist theorists are always talking about the class struggle between rich and poor people, and Antonio Gramsci, Gramsci, Adorno, and Walter Benjamin wrote in favor of cultural studies. The important concept in cultural studies is hegemony. This is contributed by Gramsci. Hegemony means making the impression that the culture of the dominant class is superior and the culture of the marginalized class is inferior. And making such an impression through the uses of governmental measures and money is called hegemony. This is a very important concept in in cultural studies. Theodore Adorno and Walter Benjamin also they formed a great role in the study of cultural studies. So all these three writers belong to Marxist group, and post-Marxist thinkers, they are not talking about any class struggle, but they are talking about the race and political divisions in modern Western society. They are not bothered about rich and poor relations like Marxists, but they are always talking about the racial, class, and ethnic divisions in modern Western society. So we can say that only Ernst Laclau is a post-Marxist thinker. All the others are Marxist thinkers. Jonathan Bates' The Song of the Earth was published in 2000. Who among the following is not a member of the Frankfurt School? Frankfurt School means the group which developed cultural studies. So, very important leaders of this cultural study group who formed Contemporary Cultural Studies Center in Birmingham University in UK. They are Max Horkheimer, Theodore Adorno, and Herbert Marcuse. Among these, they are among all the other among these writers, only Louis Althusser has no relation with the cultural studies. Louis Althusser belongs to the Marxist group of thinking. The exception here is Louis Althusser. Which of the following methods is the oldest for teaching English language? That is the grammar translation method. This is an easy question. In the area of theory and research known as second language acquisition (SLA), the classroom is considered. So when we are using the um, concept of second language acquisition, second language learning, the classroom is considered as an experimental laboratory. The arrival of corpus linguistics has revitalized the writing of observation-based grammar. All these are related to ELT. Which of the following is one of the don'ts of writing a dissertation or thesis? When we are writing a thesis, we have to consider many things. But the one among the following that we should not consider. What is that? Compiling a bibliography as soon as the work is started. It's an important thing. If we compile prepare the bibliography from the very beginning, it's a good thing. Avoid jargon wherever possible. We can use jargon wherever possible. We can avoid it also. It should be kept in mind that a dissertation or a thesis should take the form of an argument in which the writer must attempt to convince the reader of his or her case. Yeah, we can write it in a manner that it's an argument. That's also true. A researcher should not bother about the use of proper scholarly conventions from the very beginning. This is the only wrong thing, because a researcher should bother about the use of proper scholarly conventions from the very beginning. Scholarly conventions here means rules and conventions of a discipline. A researcher always he has to always consider the scholarly, that the rules and conventions of a particular subject from the very beginning. In which year did the Indian Education Commission, the sixth commission in the history of Indian education, under the chairmanship of Dr. Kothari, submitted? The Indian Education Commission is otherwise known as Kothari Commission. It was submitted in the year 1966. Who was the chairman of the University Education Commission of 1948? It is in the three circles of English observes that English-speaking countries are separated into three groups. Actually, Todd Kachru is otherwise known as Braj Kachru. He coined the term Great English, a model of different uses of English around the world. So he made different types of uses of English, like inner circle, the outer circle, and expanding circle. Correct answer. Inner circle is the use of English as a mother tongue. It is here in this type of countries, English is used traditionally, like England, America, etc. In the outer circle, English is used as a second language or as an official language for business and commerce. Like in India, Philippines, Canada, we are using English as a second language, or mainly it is used as a language for business purpose. So such countries are called the outer circle of English using. And the third one is expanding circle. Here there is no historical or traditional use of English, but English is used for business or used as a lingua franca. The following is false. What is false in this? An ideal literary researcher must be an insatiable reader. Insatiable reader means a great reader, a voracious reader. Yes, a researcher should be a great reader. He has to read a lot of books. So the first one is correct. An ideal literary researcher should not cast himself back into another age. No, when we are researching about a particular age, we have to think in accordance with the living standards of that age. So he has to cast himself into that age. So the second one is he has to think in accordance with the problems and situations of that age. The second one is so wrong. Ideal researcher should comprehend the current attitudes or the artistic assumptions. Yes, he has to consider the present attitudes also. That's true. The fourth one is an ideal researcher must have a vivid sense of history. Yes, that's also true. The second one is wrong. Which of the following is true in the context of new criticism? In new criticism, um, close reading is the main thing. We are not, in that case, we are not considering about the author, his name, his background, historic, and we are not consider about the historical background of that work also. Only we are not bothering about the genre, what type of work is that, whether it's a poetry or novel, lit or play. We are not bothered. Only thing, we have to read it line by line and understand the meaning. This is the main concept of no criticism, that is close reading. So, which among the following is true in the context of no criticism? What is true for related to this criticism? That is, it follows the tradition of historical criticism. No, because in new criticism we are not bothered about the historical background. So that's wrong. The main law of new criticism is that it should be subjective analysis. Subjective analysis means based on personal choices and perceptions. No, there is no role of any personal analysis. It's only, we are not bothered about the writer of that work. So there is no role of subjective analysis. The distinctive procedure for a new criticism is explication. That means the main role of a new critic is to explain everything in detail. This is the correct answer. Explain in detail through reading. This is the right one. The distinction between literary genres does play an essential role. No, the distinction between literary genres does not play an essential role. There is no role of genres in new criticism. So only the third one is correct. The pamphlet of Power of Love, written by William Walvin. Okay. Francis Bacon's The Advancement of Learning is a treatise on learning. So it talks mainly about scientific truth, and also the work is about theological truth. I shall be ambitious to have it said of me that I have brought philosophy out of closets and libraries, schools and colleges, to dwell in clubs and assemblies. This statement is made by Joseph Edison, not by Samuel Johnson. These writers, Edison and Samuel Johnson, belongs to neoclassical classical age, and they are against romanticism. They talked or wrote more about elite culture, not about nature. Dr. Johnson's Dictionary of English Language was published in the year, it's a very easy question, that is in 1755. On the Principles of Human Action was written by William Hazlitt. Charles Lamb is related to the work Essays of Elia. Then Jean-Jacques Rousseau is related to French Revolution. William Godwin is the father-in-law of P.B. Shelley and father of Mary Shelley. He wrote the famous Gothic novel Caleb Williams, Things as They Are. One William Hazlitt, who belongs to Romantic Age, wrote this work, Essay on the Principles of Human. Following is false about Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass is an American social reformer, lived during the 19th century. He was a slave. That's why he wrote more about slave life, his experience when he was a slave. But he started writing about this only when he became a abolitionist leader. He is an American social reformer, orator and statesman. He escaped from slavery and became a leader of abolitionist movement. He wrote in favor of slaves. He supported slaves in USA. All the first three options are correct. Only thing, he wrote up from slavery is not correct. He started writing about slavery only after when he freed from slavery. The phrase structure of feeling is related to Raymond Williams. Raymond Williams, because structure of feelings is a concept related to the connection of feelings to a particular period of time. He is a great cultural materialist, and Terry Eagleton is a Marxist thinker. Last one, Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick is related to queer theory, and famous book of Sedgwick is Epistemology of the Closet. As a lesbian writer, she says that a lesbian or a member of the LGBT community should show their identity. We should not it should not be close in behind the closet, or it should not be closed behind doors. Every member or every lesbian has to tell to the world that she is a lesbian, he or she is a lesbian or transgender. We should not close this their identity. This is what Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick is telling in her works. She is a famous feminist writer and queer theorist. But the structure of feeling belongs to Raymond Williams. A valediction forbidding mourning is written by John Donne and also by Andrine Rich also wrote this. Okay, thank you.